For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. NewsSpin, of course, is on the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as on TuneIn, the Radio Garden, Power 97.9 FM, and the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Don't forget, as always, to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. We'll be together until 2 o'clock this afternoon. In a moment, Amanda will be providing us with some updates regarding your comments in the chat rooms. And as well, I'll be taking your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. The Prime Minister made an announcement on Sunday, and we'll be hearing from him in just a bit. Political leader of the SLP addressing that launching of the Shrezelle candidate on Sunday regarding a one-day VAT tax holiday. And you want to ask yourself, why is it necessary to give people that reprieve for only one day? It's a kind of a promotion, a campaign to coincide with the upcoming general election, to sweeten you and to put you in the mood that certainly would result possibly in you voting for the St. Lucia Labour Party come the next general election. But you have been clamoring from a break for so long, from the high gas prices, the inflation that impacts you every time you go to the supermarket, every time you go to a grocery shop around the island. You have been calling for a reprieve. The government has not seen the necessity to do that. And all of a sudden, you have a one-day VAT tax-free holiday. And people are cheering for this. People are applauding the government for this. But can you recall when the previous administration decided to reduce VAT by 2.5%? It was 15%, reduce it to 12.5%. That was a reprieve. And the politicians told you, some of them at least, that this was actually taking money away from the treasury. And it was being said that what kind of positive impact you think this has had on the consumers in St. Lucia. They have said none at all. Over several years, you got that break of 2.5% over several years. And the politicians were saying, there's nothing to gain from that. You did not feel it, did you? The question was asked. And you had the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank visiting St. Lucia and advising the government, saying to the government that the VAT was just too low. And the government used, in my estimation, surreptitious means to reintroduce the 15% on the people of St. Lucia. So basically it moved from 12.5 to 15% with that so-called health and security levy. I'm saying so-called health and security levy because you continue to call this broadcast and complain about a lack of medication at our health institutions, poor services at our various health institutions, lack of beds at the OKEU as well as St. Jude Hospital. People are still sleeping on the floor. People are slouching in chairs, no matter the fact that they are visiting a health institution where they're supposed to be getting care in a comfortable environment, an environment that will help them heal. But the situation is worsened because of a lack of beds, among other things. And you are paying directly to improve the situation at our hospitals, to improve your security when you continue to fret for your life. Driving around, we're not going to stigmatize any area in the community. But driving in certain parts of the island, people tell you that they are so afraid, anticipating that there can be collateral damage. They can be shot, they can be injured, they can be killed. That is the reality of life in St. Lucia. So let's remind you of what the Prime Minister said on Sunday, and somebody analyzes this VAT-free tax holiday.
If things work,
according to the Prime Minister, and you just heard him, if things work according to plan, meaning if the St. Lucia Labour Party wins the next general election. Now, the Prime Minister says he's winning all 7 seats, but you could hear the doubt coming across. He's not too sure if the Labour Party will be re-elected into office. Let's hear him.
if things work out well, when things work out well, when things work out well, you see, this Christmas, we are going to have one day that is going to be a VAT-free day. So on that day, after you get your bonus and you get your salary, you are paying no VAT on nothing. That is the present we are giving you, the people of St. Lucia.
One day VAT free. C'est glissé. Nous avons commencé, Philippe Jepé a couru nous encore dans une petite boutique. anti-magasin, les sites chimé machin. Philippe J. Pierre nous pas pièce ti boutique, c'est que ici, pas quoi, c'est que ici qu'on pièce ti boutique, les sites chimé machin, Philippe J. Pierre. Un pays où ka run Philippe J. Pierre. Ou ka vine tout cadre politique, cette monde dit moun, ou ka bayo, one day VAT free, hein? One day VAT free, Black Friday, hein? So c'est que ici, nous n'y a c'est que Philippe J. Pierre et ses political strategy là. All of them on display. One day VAT free. So one day all solutions will pay nothing on VAT. Qui m'a laissé à travailler là? Hein? Nous ni empty items. Philippe J. Pierre dit qu'il pas ni VAT là. Nous pas qu'on même ça ka ricocher en poche nous. Et Philippe J. Pierre ka vini run pays nous dit c'est un petit boutique bordage chimé machin ka vini dit one day VAT free. Bon Dieu, politique ça chaud. Philippe J. Pierre administration il dit ka bay one day VAT free. Philippe J. Pierre et administration dit yo ka bay séclicien one day VAT free. Pays a ka run encore dit c'est cotes. Pays a ka run encore dit c'est un petit boutique bordage chimé qui ni quand même expiry items comment items pas avant tout va expire so me sale 100% sale hein 50% sale hein now c'est que ici Philippe J. Pierre souhaite gagner prime minister tellement Bougla souhaite gagner payer tellement il dit qu'il y a un jour VAT free nous pas comme ça en St. Jude's hein nous m'a dit il y a nous St. Jude's commission with our nurses doctors and our patients in it me nous venu dire building kabay. Hein? Ou pas ça même nous à l'hôpital, now ka vinn politique et puis nous, et ka di nous ka ban nous one day VAT free. Bon Dieu, moi dis au gouvernement c'est que ici ka travailler gratuit. Yon jour VAT free.
You just said there from APA, he is the independent candidate for V4 South. Analyzing the statement by the Prime Minister of St. Lucia that if things work out well, meaning if the St. Lucia Labour Party is re-elected into office, people will receive one day VAT-free holiday. Are you looking forward to this? St. Jude. And the Prime Minister said what he will deliver to you, the people of St. Lucia, is a building. What amounts to office space. That's what he's prepared to deliver to you. After all the talk, all the criticism, all the promises that were made by the St. Lucia Labour Party whilst in opposition, are you prepared, you in the South in particular, are you prepared to accept this from the Prime Minister? Will he be delivering on the promise that he made to you to deliver St. Jude to the people of the South and St. Lucia in general? Just a building. We'll hear now from the island's Health Minister, Moses Jean-Baptiste. About 3 weeks ago, speaking on the program, Meet the Minister. And he said, in the statement I'm about to play to you right now, that St. Jude Hospital is going to be opened. St. Jude Hospital is going to be opened. What that means? Fully functional, commissioned, all the equipment, staff in the building, the patients convalescing comfortably in a new St. Jude Hospital. Now we know, according to the Prime Minister, that this will not happen. Here is Mr. Moses Jean-Baptiste.
St. Jude Hospital is going to be opened formally. It will be open. We are preparing for that, and the transitioning team is preparing for that, and the officials are preparing for that. You would have seen in the public that the staff, various representatives of the St. Jude Hospital staff, they have gone there to see so that they can understand the flow, the processes, and so on. A number of the rooms are ready, the dialysis, and so many of the rooms are ready to be occupied. I know the contractor was working on the roads, the circular roads all around. Some of them have been completed, and we are looking forward very soon to the formal opening of the St. Jude Hospital. Like the OKEU Hospital, the professionals are working on the transitioning of the hospital. We still have some equipment, we still have some equipment on the way. A lot of the supplies, equipment, and so on are here being installed, but the contractor did explain that there were some issues with the shipping and so on, with the ports in Jamaica and so on and other places. So some of the equipment is delayed but on the way. But the hospital itself will be ready, and the transitioning process will take place. When the equipment comes, the medical professionals will have to, the suppliers of the equipment obviously have to go through certain processes with them and so on. But we are going to open the hospital, and it's going to be a glorious day.
You heard from Mr. Health Minister Moses Jean-Baptiste. We are going to open the hospital, and it is going to be a glorious day. Let's wait and see. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. We already have some of your WhatsApp messages, and of course we have some of your calls coming in already. But let me go through a WhatsApp message. And somebody says there, Tim, good afternoon. Philip Pierre, Richard Frederick, we want a hospital that save lives, not an empty building. $400 million spent. Why St. Jude is still incomplete? A bunch of liars who made the St. Lucian public believe that Shas was spending money lavishly. After 4 years, where is St. Jude's? Lucian, look out for more heavy taxes if the SLP forms the next government. We'll see if you have a call on the landline. In the meantime, somebody says via WhatsApp, Philip J. Pierre, if you're man enough, ring the bell. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another one says there, it's clear that most PJP supporters are not well educated and are being swayed by false promises of a free holiday. However, the harsh reality is that many of them won't be able to afford anything on that day due to their limited financial means. PJP is taking advantage of this situation, knowing that the country won't suffer significant financial losses as a result. The people he is targeting simply don't have the money to go shopping, and even a bonus won't make a difference in this case. That's according to our WhatsApp message. And let's see if we have another message to go through. Honestly, St. Lucians was a nation of mediocrity. We take in Martinique, there would be protests, but like Rick always says, we are a nation of sheep. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tenacious Poleon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Determined, I'm Princess Amanda. Okay, John Daniel, the voice of the voiceless. Tim, first of all, number one, the fact remains that Europe did not deliver a hospital. They started a building, incomplete building, not a hospital. A hospital must be commissioned by the competent authority. Guy Joseph said, if he doesn't deliver the hospital as the last election, do not vote for him, and his prophecy of doom came to fruition. So I heard some of the ministers, Richard Frederick said, if the Labour Party doesn't give the hospital, do not vote for him. So let's see that prophecy will come true too.
No, he did not say. He did not say do not vote for him. He said that he will not be contesting the election. That's what he said.
Yeah. Okay. Right. All right. Well, yeah. I guess 6.5 dozen. Because if you don't to contest, you can't be voted for. All right. So now I want to say something, Tim, quite clearly. A lot of people not involved in the rural politics and thing, but we live as solutions. Now I don't like the massa attitude when politicians get elected into government. They act like they're the untouchables. You can't talk to me. The law doesn't apply to them and their friends. They can do what they want. That is not true. And that is a culture that's been inculcated into those in authority, whether it's ULP or SLP. And that must stop. All right? They have a temporary power, but there are powers above theirs, and they'll see the power coming out soon. I'm saying, moving forward, I'm speaking to Honorable Alan Shastney, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, or whoever wins the election, that thing of because you have 5 years in power, you can do what you want, that has to stop and it will stop. Or you will see the real power arising. You work for the people. I believe in free and fair elections. Can you possible to? If SLP wins 17 not free and fair, the people speak. I respect that. I will pray for the government. If UW wins 17 not and is free and fair, the people have spoken. I will respect that. I'll pray for them. I'll look at them. But I'm hearing a lot of things now which needs to be investigated. Tell you the truth, I want free and fair elections. I'm in St. Lucia. I'm sure voting. I'm hearing a lot of things about the voters list. I'm hearing, is not a fact. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying I am hearing that the voters list is problems. People living in Miko, then they register for voting in Babondo, those in ancillary in Chozel. What happened? The voters list is a booyah. Did a hurricane strike the voters list? People just displaced. Gentrification that going on there. That was looked in carefully. I want it free and fair. I'm hearing a lot about the voters list, and I don't know when elections will be called, if there are enough time to see about it, make sure it's correct, because I want SLP to win free and fair, or UW to win free and fair. This is if it is so, if capital IF, it is not right. It is injustice, it isn't fair. One more thing I want to say for the voiceless people, that this thing about selling passports, selling our patrimony, I think that's lazynomics, lazy economics. We can do better. And tourism, COVID showed us clearly that tourism is an eggshell industry. But we really like eggs, boy. What solution and political directors and bureaucrats and technocrats are more goose. They really like eggs, eggshell economy, right? Look now, President Trump threatened they may close the Caribbean airspace. You know what I mean? Disaster for our tourist industry. I'm not saying we can't have a tourist industry, but it cannot be a mainstay so strongly and we have nothing else to back it up. If the shipping lines close for Venezuela-American war, how much food we can be sustained in the ocean? How much processed food we have our own food or supply food to last us a month? I doubt. Last COVID, 3 days of the shutdown, lines long from, I saw my own eyes, lines from Kalisa, Sufaji, Massey, going all by Hess, climbing the Hess Hill. You know what I'm saying? We have to wake up and think of doing things for ourselves. Singapore is not bigger than Singapore, 1 million people. And they do it so advanced. I'm not saying we can reach Singapore's level because they have a better work ethic than us. But we cannot keep on depending on tourism, our main industry, or else that may be a set of a plan to keep us down for progressive. All right? Number 2, I do not like the politicians have a big stage, thousands of rallies, and we're not educating our people. Essentially, deliberate. We keep our people poor and uneducated and dependent on a handout, man, just for our political gain. You cannot exploit your own people. If you have a love for your people, most people are your cousins, relatives, third, fourth cousin. You cannot keep people down in that kind of Guinea mentality, $100, $200 there, and just for vote and keep them in darkness and ignorance, Gasa. We have to elevate our people, enlighten our people. Let them see policy. Let them learn to read, listen, and then decide. If you're just about Labour Party, no problem. Even say Labour, no problem. But I think of deliberately keeping people poor. No development. No, don't talk about what before that. Where I'm from, it doesn't make I remember what 28 years. Only SNS in town that keeping before town viable. Like a ghost town, people come like Ancillary Village or Denry Village. A place with so much flat land, geographical, logistics for industry. You have a port, you have an international airport, you have flat land. That's like a gold mine begging to be developed before crying to be developed, crying, and nothing is being done. The politicians, you'll had your day, you'll played, you'll dance for the past years. You see this coming 5 years there? Whoever wins, God bless you. The free and fair way. But don't think you're able to come and have total power again. You're making deals and you're telling people that. Before election, you're having your town hall meetings. Come to the people first. Get a feel from the people and let people know we intend to do this. We intend to keep our seaports. That's a serious thing. Not him, correct me please. I'm in 40 years, I'm in 40. Which one is it?
It's 30 years with an option to renew for another 10 years.
No.
In the first instance, it's 30 years with an option to renew for additional 10.
Okay, thank you, team. Team, I don't preach violence. I don't believe in violence. I'm not a violent person. But you see, that has to change, eh? If it's one time I take to the streets by myself with a flyer and I am a nobody, I'd have title, I'm a nobody. But one thing, I have an influence. I tell you that. Team, I will take to the streets if that thing doesn't change. GPS can't have our port for 40 years, guys. That's nonsense. Maximum exam is 10 years, maximum. And with a clause that it can be 7 years. Nah, that can happen. And there'll be a lot of people now that quiet, but the people angry about how things happen, and they will come out in. People you'll never saw on the streets. You'll see them with a placard. People you have never seen. Right, team? Brother Tenacious team and Princess Amanda, thank you very much.
But won't you, John Daniel, won't you caught napping? Because now you're talking about taking to the streets to protest against that GPH deal. It has been signed already. There was a lot of discussion about it, and nobody did anything about it except the opposition who spoke.
Okay, can I speak?
Yes, sir.
All right, team. For your information, I speak the truth, only heard about GPH when it was signed, sealed, and all over. That's the truth. Maybe I blame myself for not hearing before. But a lot of senators who never heard about GPH until it was signed. Just like the signing of the seabed and other things. I think personally, I never heard. Seriously. Right? I never heard. But not because I never heard, I didn't hear any sign that I cannot do something about it. Something will be done about it. And I, John Daniel, will be seen on the streets or advocating for that to change. That's my personal mission. That's my personal agenda. Okay, team? And things will change. Politicians must come to the people. You can't yell people gods when you're in power. You know what I'm saying? That has to stop. Okay, brother team?
All right,
Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
The former presenter of DBS's Street Vibes. You just heard there from John Daniel. By the way, good afternoon to you, John Emmanuel, if you're listening or watching the broadcast. We just heard there from John Daniel. Let's continue with your calls. We have a call. Hello, good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Timothy. Good afternoon, caller. Yeah, good afternoon. I'm a bit confused there, Timothy. While the campaign was going, 2021, Miss Emma said that they would put that building on the very first year for 1 year. It will be commissioned and in operation. And all during this week or last week or a week before, the Prime Minister is saying that he had only promised the building. And it is ready, but the commission will take some time. Moses saying that the hospital will be open before this year end. What kind of confusion is that? It seems to me that the Labour Party is not on a good footing. And it seems to me they have a lot of, I would say, disturbances going among themselves too. They have not come and tell the people of St. Lucia, this is what's going to happen. This one have a story, another story there, another story there, another story there. King said that he have an entrepreneur that will take on the Laclery thing. He already in the process of doing that. The Prime Minister say, I don't know nothing about that. Maybe he heard that from another parliament. What is going on in that country? That one don't know this. That one saying that will happen. That one saying no. That one saying this one. They are not on a good footing, and we are approaching an election. We are approaching an election. So the people of St. Lucia, those of us that are voting, analyze those things before we leave our homes and go in a polling station and put our votes. Analyze those things. Those things is not going right at all in St. Lucia. The government, it's not the opposition, huh? The government that wants us to trust them to give them another 5 years. But yes, still, there are so many conflict stories among them. Conflict stories. So it's all left to us when we go in and vote I don't know whether it's this year or the 1st of December or the 8th of December. That's my own analogy. Or next year in January. But election is very soon. Plus, he said that he's going to announce it on Sunday.
No, he never said he will announce it on Sunday. The Prime Minister never said that he'll be making the announcement on Sunday. He never said that.
Okay, but he said about he going to. You're right. But what we as voters are we that putting those guys into power to do our duties? We have to analyze ourselves, man. Yes, I want to vote because that is my right to vote. And I guess everybody, when they go in and vote, pray to God, because God have his God controls in the kingdom of man. He controls in the kingdom of man. Before we left our home to go and vote, pray and ask God to give us the insight as to who to vote for. Who to vote for, because he have his children in the country. He have his children. So when we live in our son, go and vote. Just not go and vote. Rouge be jaune. The red and ready. This, that, and the other is ready. And nous can just marcher monter à police station like I mean quoi n'importe côté. Et qu'après disparaître nous can healer. Put God first in everything we're doing. Ask God to lead us, to choose the right set of people to represent us. If we don't do that, we'll be in serious trouble. Because they have a lot of Judases in Parliament. This is what I live in with the whole country. Let us pray and ask God to direct us as to who to vote to lead us in the 21st century. Thank you, Timothy.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. Good afternoon to you, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat rooms on Facebook as well as on YouTube.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. Tim, a few comments here via Facebook. Someone says, hey, Tim, the new word to describe someone who constantly lies and deceives others is mystery. People are saying the Prime Minister is a mystery and we can't read him. Really? Are we so stupid? A commentator says, Tim, tell PJP we are not fools. What we want is a reduction in the price of cooking gas and fuel and the removal of the 2.5% levy. A NewsSpinner says, imagine you giving a bonus for Christmas, but you can't get medication at the governmental facilities, so you have to go elsewhere to purchase it. Someone says there, one day before Christmas, can we have those cows at shock removed? We can't have any more accidents during the festive season. Commentary says, if that's the present, I don't want it. Someone says here, with the state of the health sector in St. Lucia, the worst it has ever been. Next election, I am voting for the National Health Insurance proposed by Chasney, the best initiative to be introduced by any government in St. Lucia. Better than NIC. I do not see why anybody will vote against that. A NewsSpinner says they're saying Lucia's Prime Minister never ceases to amaze me. Oh my goodness. What's even more amazing is the crowd's reaction. Top class comedy. Another commentator says it's very scary for retirees. We want to come home, but we're concerned about the healthcare system. It defies logic leaving a modernized hospital for a chicken coop. Someone says that the health and security levy is still in effect, but now is one-day VAT. Another commentary says, all that money used, I really hope those structures never give us any major issues in the next 30 years. A NewsSpinner says here via Facebook, we are getting a glorious building, not fit for purpose and not commissioned. Another commentary says, a country that has 2 Nobel laureates, 1 Olympic gold medalist, and so many educated people, that's who we have as a Prime Minister. The joke is on us St. Lucians. Another commentary reads, Team, was some of the money to be used for the repairs on the stadium after they move? What amount of money is spent and what amount is left for the stadium repairs for the youth and the south of the country?
And people have been, in fact, reporters have been asking that question with regard to the $75 million loan that the government of St. Lucia got from the Saudis. In terms of the allocation, what amount would be utilized for the reconstruction of the St. Jude Hospital, and what amount would be used to rehabilitate the George Odlum Stadium? And the Prime Minister on several occasions has not been able or has not been willing to provide that kind of information to the people of St. Lucia. Continue.
Continuing, someone says there the last time King said about a Nigerian contractor, PJP said he doesn't know anything about that. Now the health representative is now saying the hospital will be opened, and PJP said it is not. What is going on with PJP and his cabinets? And NewsSpin says the people like it. We are a greedy and freeness-minded people. We like to receive and hate to give. So what do you expect? Commentary reads, our Prime Minister has upgraded from being a handout tea boutique government to being Santa Claus. And NewsSpinner says, I think VA4 is the biggest casualty in all of this politics because it has a lot of potential to flourish under the right leadership. Another commentary reads, GPH should not have our ports for a second time. And NewsSpinner says, caller, there is no reason why any company besides SLASPA should have our ports. Another commentary via Facebook, someone says, team, we do not know the contents of the agreement. You know, it was a big secret and they refused to give us the details. It was only after Shasney showed the deed in the house we knew it was leased for $1 EC. A few comments here via YouTube. Someone says, concerning the VAT-free day, are the businesses, including the small businesses, on board? A similar initiative was taken in Canada for 3 months and it cost more than what was saved to switch everything over. Commentary says, a glorious day, absolute nonsense, ribbons cutting to fool the foolish. And the commentary via YouTube, someone says, I hope VA4 people vote for the party they believe will bring change to Vieux-Fort. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Let's take a call via WhatsApp. Hello. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you, to Amanda, and to the listeners.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And the viewers as well. The viewers as well.
The viewers as well. Oh,
yes.
For sure. Yeah. YouTube and Facebook and all the likes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tim, I've been following the last kind of the latest discussion that we're having in the country about the debate, and it just seems to me like the Prime Minister is projecting. So you can tell. Obviously, you in your field of work, you follow what's going on in the U.S. Yes. So you remember the last election, Trump knew he could not beat Kamala Harris in the debates. So he did everything after he did one debate, and then he didn't do any more debates. And that's because he knew, obviously, if it had come down to policy and stuff, he was not going to win those arguments. And I'm sensing the same thing here from the Prime Minister, because the reason he said in the last clip, I think you played it a couple of days ago, he was making some point about he cannot debate with someone who doesn't stick to facts and everything. But then when further clips were played, it showed that actually what was being discussed, Alan Shasney was right to a certain extent. Okay? I think you played that like earlier in the week.
Yes, and I have that clip. I have that clip all lined up to play again a little bit later in just a moment. Maybe when you conclude your contribution. Right on cue. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So basically that's what I'm sensing, because I think in this day and age where we're saying we're a global community, you know, we have so many St. Lucians that are following what's going on overseas, you know, on the island and stuff. Some St. Lucians that, you know, are not really red or yellow. They're up the middle because they voted for different parties over the years and stuff. But I'm more focused on policy and thinking about the long term, you know, for the country. They want to see the leaders of the country, you know, discuss the issues, because when you get in parliament, you have parliamentary privileges. So certain things are said, and you know, it's a back and forth,
and especially generally speaking, if you have a biased speaker, that would subdue the comments of the leader of the opposition. It's better that you have a fair debate where you have one or two moderators who would interject, and where you play by the rules as well and give people sufficient time to explain, and then you have structured questions. So I think it's a cop-out on the part of the Prime Minister to give the impression that the debate will be between himself and the leader of the opposition, and he will not have moderators who will ensure that the rules are adhered to, and to ensure that there is a structure, you know, that will give the two debaters sufficient time to explain themselves and ensure that they play by the rules. Yes.
Of course, you have objective journalists in St. Lucia that can do. I think can manage a debate. I mean, you can use the civic society to propose certain people, and from there the two parties can get there and they can negotiate who they both agree with that can manage the debate. You set the rules and everything. Obviously, you're not going to have a debate where people from either party and screaming and stuff. You have certain rules that if you are making too much noise, you can be removed from the debate hall or whatever. I mean, everyone knows how debates are constructed. Most St. Lucians watch the debates here in the US and in other countries and stuff. So for the Prime Minister to kind of use that excuse, to me, is just, it really goes to show that these people really think people are stupid, because I as a St. Lucian, Tim, I've never voted in St. Lucia. And I like I've said before, I like politicians from either side, from both sides. I think, individually, I like from both sides. So I don't have a party per se. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But most solutions would like to know that they can watch a debate where they can say, that is a good point, and watch the two leaders, just debate in a really constructive way, where you're debating the issues because Tim, remember, whoever wins this election is taking St. Lucia into our 50th anniversary of independence.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, when we're talking about real independence and stuff like that, we're then talking about moving St. Lucia in terms of constitutional reform, electoral reform, and as I talk about electoral reform, Tim, the SLP has been blasting your show with the commercials, but none of them are willing to come on to any of your programs to discuss the issues. So they know we as St. Lucians out here listening to the commercials that they're putting on the air, but they're not willing to come and say, okay, let us, even if I might not agree with Tim on certain issues, let me go over to his program and discuss. Let him ask me some questions so that, again, like I said, the people in the solutions that are not for either side can say, hey, okay, you're willing to discuss the issues and stuff. But again, Tim, they're taking people for jokes, because again, this whole thing about the hospital, it reminds me of Donald Trump saying Mexico is going to pay for the wall. That's what I put that in that category, because you cannot say just before an election that you're going to provide a building when everyone knows a building is not a hospital. You touting all the health centers that you've opened and whatnot. They're up and running. Are they just buildings or are they health centers? So if that doesn't apply for a health center, Tim, how can it then apply for a hospital?
Caller, I still do not believe, I don't anticipate that the St. Lucia Labour Party will go into a German election and St. Jude will not be fully operational and St. Jude will not be commissioned. I don't want to fathom that.
You don't think so?
I don't want to accept that this will happen. I honestly, because this would be a glaring dereliction of duty on the part of this SLP administration, which clamored so much for the completion of that project. Don't tell me you'll go into a general election and it is not completed and the staff are not operating from there and the patients are not recuperating right there. I don't want to fathom that. And I think it's about time, hold on, caller. I think it's about time we hear, not from politicians, but from the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association, issue a statement, please. If not today or tomorrow, but indeed after Sunday, particularly if the SLP sets a date for the poll and it is scheduled for, let's say, December of this year, which means that the hospital will not be commissioned. We want to hear from the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association.
So Tim, in that statement, what are you hoping to hear? What are you hoping to hear?
No, but I have to wait on Sunday. Let me wait on Sunday to hear what the Prime Minister says. If he sets a date that would indicate that the hospital will not be fully commissioned before the poll. Get my point?
Definitely, I get your point, Tim.
Yes,
but I don't think the hospital. I don't think that haven't already launched all of the quote unquote 17 candidates.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see how the elections cannot be close. I have my idea as to what date is going to be called, but obviously that will just be speculation because I'm not going to be making that point as I've heard other people making that point, not based on any inside information that they have. But having already launched all the 17 candidates, I just think the elections is very near. And as you can see what they're doing, they're throwing little things here for people. We're going to give you a VAT-free day. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you that. They just announced that they get another $20 million to restart the project. The project, I think you discussed that project up in was that a Rock Hall area there some months back. You had a good I think you spent a good couple of days on it and stuff like that. So you can see what they're doing. They're giving people little things here, because they want people to then overlook the fact that they haven't kept their promise. You're not hearing anything from Richard Frederick, who said he will not run again if the hospital is, he has a show every Thursday. You're not hearing him talking about that, and he claims he's an independent. So I just don't think that the hospital is going to be commissioned, and so they're using other little tactics. They're bombarding your show, they're bombarding other airways with the commercials, and stuff like that, because they're going to call it soon.
All right, sir.
But I really believe us St. Lucians, we have to demand that there be a debate so that we can hear our political leaders discuss the issues. Tim, I think later down the line, I would even like to see debates amongst the candidates who are competing for the constituencies and stuff like that. But that is later down the road. But I just believe that the leaders, they can even, I would like to see at least 3 debates. You can have one with the prime minister, the deputy leader of either political party, and then they can put out maybe someone from their party, a senior person from their party, who can debate on either side. And that will allow the independent candidates as well to at least be able to take part in the debate as well, because you don't want to leave out those people. If you have good independent candidates that are serious, you have to have a debate where you can include them in what's going on. But as of now, we have to demand a debate so that the leaders can discuss the issues that we want to hear about as we move St. Lucia forward. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling. So far, I think we've had some great callers. Let us listen to Prime Minister Philippe J. Pierre when the question was posed to him on Monday of this week during the pre-cabinet press briefing regarding debates among or between the 2 leaders and politicians in general in St. Lucia.
Let me tell you,
my apology, we have some technical issues there, but let's see if we have another clip featuring a debate which occurred in September of this year ahead of the general elections over in Jamaica between the Jamaican Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition.
There's no attempt by my administration and indeed myself to undermine any oversight body. Indeed, we have acted to strengthen and make them far more efficient.
There has been a definite pattern of hostility from the Jamaica Labour Party government towards the institutions mentioned.
I am the politician who can stand with the greatest moral authority to treat with any matter that is considered corrupt, as I have done in the past. You can trust me.
Our system seems to be failing us today. Apologies for that. You just watched and heard from 2 Jamaican politicians, the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. Notice is hereby given of the 30th Annual General Meeting of the Dennery Community Credit Cooperative Society Limited to be held this Sunday. That's Sunday the 9th of November from 2:30 p.m. The meeting will be held both virtually and in person at Chateau Heritage located at Bypass in Dennery. A link will be provided to members who are attending the meeting virtually. Members will also have the chance to win prizes, and they are encouraging everyone to attend and to be on time. Still to come, more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and Amanda will be going through your comments in the chat rooms.
The United Workers' Party, St. Lucian Diaspora in New York, invites you to a town hall meeting Saturday, November 8th, 2025 from 6:30 p.m. The Honorable Alan Shastney invites you to an important meeting to discuss the UWP's vision and plans for a stronger, safer, and more prosperous St. Lucia. This Saturday, November 8th, 2025, 6:30 p.m. at 1346 President Street between Kingston and Brooklyn. For more information, check out www.uwpstlucia.com.
It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
Every day, St. Lucian women give everything to their families, communities, and dreams. Yet breast cancer still claims too many lives. Now, St. Lucia is making history. For the first time, state-of-the-art 3D mammography is available right here at home. Donated by the World Bank through the Health Sector Support Program, these advanced machines are a major step forward in universal health coverage, and they're free. Women 40 and older or younger, if at risk, can access this life-saving service. Visit your local wellness center for a referral. Early detection saves lives. Free mammograms, universal coverage. Your wellness center is your first step.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Helping the single mothers, those who are unable to take care of themselves, give them the support that
they have been backing up their work, so it's good.
Improvement on elderly care.
My government is working, and nobody cannot move my government there.
Well, as a nice worker, I'm feeling great.
They are so thankful to be permanent, to have a job that they can rely on. They can go to the bank. They can, have their business done.
All the time Shastney was there, $200. Shastney was giving it. As we come, they put them $500.
Now we can go to a bank and take any loan.
All them UWP fellas that are getting all the benefits. You, a typical UWP, you're getting $2 a month in pension. They put it $500.
I lived in London for 20 years.
So we need someone who can actually relate, who is relatable. Shastney is not.
And I would say to you that this government, I have not seen any better governance in this country in a long time.
The government is working very well.
Let me tell you, the man is working. The man is working. Seriously, the man is working. You just call him. You just call Mr. Edward, and then Mr. Edward just say, okay, give me whatever, or send me this, send me that, and it's working. It is, I'm really, really, really happy. I'm satisfied.
My government is working for me, and my rep, Mr. Albert, is working for me.
When employee AP nice, I push my quotas up, bien.
I tell you, I have to walk with 2 pairs of shoes. When I get to the main road, I change, I wet my feet, I put my shoe. But now it's just step. Here our road was so bad, and now look at our roads. Every single place you pass, we don't step in mud anymore.
And it was high time that we had something good to say. That the minimum wage came out, and I love it for St. Lucia.
Well, if you've been in the land for 30 years, you can get a title of it if the government allows you to do that and stuff like that.
The government is working, and I'm satisfied.
This is a great policy with a capital G.
The government is working.
There's a lot of youths around here wasn't working. Everybody going to work now.
Everything better, money flowing, right? Everything better.
My government working.
If somebody not seeing that this government is doing well, is somebody that probably have a wooden glasses.
We stand with Mr. Pierre, and my choice is clear.
This was a paid political advertisement.
I dare say, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, I'm putting you on notice. Should the hospital not be completed during our term, I will no longer run for elections. Okay? Should the hospital not be completed within our term, I will not contest the next general elections.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. We continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. And Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat rooms and provide us with some updates. Shop directly from the U.S. with Smack Freight International. Vehicles, heavy equipment, tools, parts, building materials, commercial equipment, office equipment, furniture, personal goods, home goods, shoes, clothing, restaurant equipment and supplies, uniforms, and so much more. Smack Freight International also offers a broad selection of top quality products with real-time availability and fast delivery. It's simple. Whatever you buy it for less at Smack Freight. Smack Freight is now serving the Caribbean. WhatsApp them today at 1737 409 4048. Once again, WhatsApp them today at 1737 409 4048 or visit their website at smackfreight.com, and that is spelled SMAKFREIGHT.com. And the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, he left the island on Thursday afternoon, headed to the United States, and is returning on Saturday morning. And whilst in the U.S., he will be engaging members of the St. Lucian diaspora at a town hall meeting hosted by the Consulate General of St. Lucia in New York. And that town hall meeting convenes from 6:30 this evening at Friends of Crown Heights, 671 Prospect Place, Brooklyn, New York. And according to a press statement from the office of the PM, the forum provides St. Lucians living abroad with an opportunity to interact directly with the Prime Minister, share their views, and learn more about the government's policies and national development priorities. And in his absence, Dr. Ernest Hilaire is acting Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Let's continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. 452-2979, 452-2979, and your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026, and we'll try and see if we can put a call on the air via WhatsApp, so please stand by for that. Let me see if I could, in the meantime, go through some of your messages. And let me try and access that message right now. And the message reads, just bear with me, trying to access as many of your messages as possible. It reads there, okay, let's see if we could get another message. Just stand by. Tim, LOL, but Richard will just change it to say he was talking about the building. And another WhatsApp message, somebody says there, okay, let's see if we get another one. Somebody says via WhatsApp, please bear with me. Musa's statement is very sad. I don't want to call him a liar. It is a clear indication that this government is so confused. Somebody says there's always using the Mali ways, making a fool of themselves. We are not walking in mud anymore. And some more of your messages. Somebody says via WhatsApp, they made a big mistake by advertising. Okay, let's see there. Somebody. Okay, let's take a call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Yes, sir. Tim.
Good afternoon to you.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Tim. Yes, Tim. Tim, I wanted to say, Tim, I remembered specifically the Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, stated that it's only going to take $10 million and some bleach and the hospital will be open. You remember that, Tim?
I think that's the statement was made by Alva. Not about 10 million, but he said a coat of paint and some chemical.
Exactly, Tim. And then the Prime Minister came again and said, all right, it will take $265 million to finish the hospital. You understand? That never happened. Now the Prime Minister is telling us is that the building is fine. And then after, they have to commission the hospital. My point is, Tim, it's just like when Philip JPA came into office, he said that every St. Lucian is going to get $1,500 immediately when he came into office. He went on Andrew Paul's show and he said he never said that. St. Lucians, the people who are listening, you all might not like Alan Shastney, but Alan Shastney doesn't make up the entire United Workers' Party. The only party that can save this country from this evil set of men, those lying men, are the United Workers' Party. And specifically, I'm speaking on behalf of the youth of the country, us, the youth that makes up that generate the economy. Timothy, I'll tell you one more thing before I go. The St. Lucia Labour Party said with the youth economy, they're going to give $5,000 worth of grants, right? When you get that money or that grant, we have the 2.5 levy on that $5,000. We have the 12.5% on that $5,000. Tell me what exactly will this accomplish for the youth? They said over 2,000 youth have gotten the grants and those different things. I have never seen 2,000 new businesses open in the country. The most I've seen that is happening in the country, if you walk in Castries Central right now, Tim, you've seen a slit of abandoned buildings that is in disrepair. And the Minister for Central Castries, Richard Frederick, have been walking around Central Castries, giving out contracts like left, right, and center. We never seen that in the history of politics right now. The managers giving contracts. I hope they will be able to pay those people before the elections. But my point, what I'm trying to bring to you, Timothy, is that Richard Frederick said, if the hospital is not finished, whether it's commissioned or whether the building is fine, he said if the hospital is not operational, he has to step down and be a man and step down and stick to your words, because those guys are too much of liars. 5 years before the 2021 election, Richard Frederick has been on his talk show with documents and all forms of documents and all types of things. Today, they're at Orange Grove opening the Supreme Court. Hypocrites, and that's not what St. Lucia represents. St. Lucia is a place that developed the 2 Nobel laureates in our country. We have the fastest women in the world. We cannot have a government like this representing us, because that doesn't represent the masses of the people. That represent only the St. Lucia Labour Party. I thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. Let's take another call. Hello, good afternoon. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air. Good afternoon. Hello.
Hi, Tim.
Yes, good afternoon, Rick.
I got a question for you. If the United Workers' Party should win the upcoming elections, to what would you first and foremost attribute that victory?
A multiplicity of things, but I think at the top would be the utterances of Prime Minister Philip JPA. And in particular, I think the distraction that has been in the Parliament of St. Lucia during those sittings, in particular the attacks on the leader of the opposition, Alan Shastney.
Just think of that, Tim. That's a very good observation. But you know, most people determine elections who they're going to vote for on how much their lives are likely to be improved with a new government.
Mm-hmm.
Issues related to that being discussed during the campaign, and so on and so on and so on. Now, that what you just talked about is very, very interesting. That St. Lucia would change the government because of statements, contradictory statements, I take it you mean?
Yes.
By the Prime Minister, and the behavior of parliamentarians. None of that immediately affects the way St. Lucians live. So it's indicating, and I don't think you're wrong necessarily, I'll come to that. It's indicating how little St. Lucians care about themselves, how little they care. I want to go on to say something else. Yesterday, try like hell to call you. Yesterday was the opening of, what's the mall called, Tim?
The Orange Grove Plaza.
Who owns that?
Well, it's a bit won by the developer, portion of it by the developer and the government of St. Lucia. That's after they have paid the rent for the certain parts of the building that they have occupied. They have to occupy it and pay it for
Let's do a
particular
very,
period.
very quick history of that building, Tim. The building was in receivership when it was bought by John Compton, right?
Yes.
It was in receivership. At the time, there was a lot of talk by the opposition, the Labour Party. They cast a number of clouds over that, including that Charles Dyer, the owner, and Osbert Dover were very, very close friendship. Remember that?
Yes.
And that Osbert Dover had talked Compton into acquiring it because Compton had always stood for owning their own government buildings as opposed to renting.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big talk. It was put down, frowned upon, and everything. And I have to say to you now, also, I'm thinking, why are our governments so interested in being private sector operators as opposed to public sector operators, Tim? I mean, a mall and everything that goes with it, that should be totally private sector, don't you think?
I think it should be, but there are instances when the government, because of its nature, has to get into private sector interests, although it is there to create an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive.
Good. So when the property was bought by the company, I think in 2009.
It wouldn't have been 2009 by Sir John Compton because Sir John Compton died in 2007.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. What year was it then?
He died in 2007.
When was it bought then?
This would have been, I think it was bought during the Stevenson King reign.
All right, so that's about
2007, 2008, thereabout.
I was close. I
Yes.
think it was bought in about 2006, 2007. And it did not turn into anything until 2024.
Not 2024, before that, because the UWP administration is in between 2016 and 2021. Yeah, so it's before that. Before
Did what? What
before
they
the,
do with
it would have been purchased. It was before the 2021 general
I'm
election.
asking, what did they do with it in that time?
What did they do? Which
Yeah,
day? Which day? The government?
What was done to the property since it was bought right up to when they started work on it for the mall?
Nothing much was done with it.
Exactly. So there was no big rush of government to acquire it.
No.
There was no big rush. That's why there were so many rumors floating at the time as to why the government acquired it
Yeah.
and spent $27 million acquiring it. Okay? Now, yesterday, well, it shows again we were in no hurry, we didn't need it. But why did we buy it? Yesterday, the Prime Minister, what seemed to turn him on most was the wonderful building for the Supreme Court,
Yeah,
right?
state of the art.
I just never the word you make funny. State-of-the-art building, etc., etc. Building. Now, Tim, what an irony that we spent all that money trying to get a state-of-the-art building for Supreme Court, among others, when Zooming is the big thing with court trials now. Am I right?
It is. It plays a role. It plays a role.
Huh?
It plays a big role now, yes.
It plays Zoom?
Yes.
So I'm saying that, again, government, I'm wary of governments getting into anything private sector. Why? Because government notoriously does not give account for anything. I also had a lot of problems with, back in the day when people were complaining about loose select. And of course, the government had a small share of loose select. So that effectively, the people's complaints was about the company that the government had shares in. And would we be surprised that the government very seldom spoke anything about loose select?
Because they had an interest. They can't speak about against themselves.
Exactly.
You know?
Now, I'm thinking we have private sector things that are essential, like hospitals. We still can't, I'm not ready to deliver a hospital yet. But we could find money to maintain a piece of land, because that's what it was, a grassland more or less. All those years we were paying money to the bank, we were paying expenses to go and check structures. For how many years from the time it was bought, right up to about 2023, 24. Mm-hmm. Does that make any sense to you, Tim? We spend so much money on things that are not essential to the day-to-day living of people, necessities for people, hospitals, adequate staffing of hospitals, medicine, all those things. We don't care. Water, regular water after all these years, and so on. We seem not to care about the things that directly affect our lives. Employment opportunities, I should say. The government basically is the biggest employer in this country, I think, right?
Yes, through the public service.
So taxpayers are paying out money, salaries and back pay and all kinds of money to people that they're complaining about all the time anyway, but have no say in the matter as to how many people should be in the public service or what their salaries ought to be. We have no say in those things, you know what?
We don't. But it's the government that makes that determination, because the government understands that they can benefit. The political parties in office can benefit, because when you give those concessions to the public sector workers, you give them those bonuses and so on, they're already doing the maths. Each public sector worker would have a family consisting of 3 or 4 people who can vote for the party that is in office.
But you see, Tim, that's the point I'm making. When I asked you, and you were correct, when I asked you a while ago, what do you think motivates people to go for elections and so on? Those are the 2 things you said to me. Nothing about, I mean, you didn't even say crime. That did not even occur to you, and I don't blame you for that. It's not at the front of anybody's platform. Nobody is really discussing crime except in a very pish-pash way. How many people do we have who died like frogs on the road over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years? Quite a number of those people, Tim, unresolved. How happy are we with the protection given us by our governments successively, if you want? How happy are we with that? How safe do we feel when we're taking a little walk around the boulevard? How safe do we feel if we take a book and go and sit in Derek Walcott Square? None of those things which directly affect the lives, our security, our education, our immediate future, the future of our children, travel overseas in terms of who our government is friendly with and which not, things like CIP and so on that we should know about. These are not the things discussed to any depth or with any kind of talent. Even when we hear those things discussed, you wonder if the politician is just a bunch of jackasses and more proof that they're jackasses, or that they have an absolute palpable contempt for the intelligence of St. Lucians. Because we are not pressuring for it either, We're not making any noise. We want to know, how can a government, any government, tell you that the money is collected for CIP, whether it's $1 million or 20 million or $1 billion, whatever it is? I can't tell you what the situation is. I'm going to have to ask whatever outside person that we have nothing to do with. And it ends right there. How can we, year after year, there is no real satisfaction that the money borrowed at budget time and so on, how it was really spent. Most of the time we're behind with our accounts. You hear me, Tim?
Loud and clear, sir.
And you wonder, what kind of country does that? What kind of country does that to itself? And then you have the people hating each other because they've taken a certain side on that stupidity. They've bitten up on one end of the stupidity and the other one, and that's what they're fighting about. Issues are not discussed. Matters of life and death are not discussed. Children getting raped and all that, not discussed. 75% of the people at Bodily criminally held, not discussed. And so it goes. That woman, we don't even hear about her anymore, Mrs. Williams. You know what her name is?
Kimberly De Leon.
Kimberly. We don't hear about that anymore. The 17-year-old boy who was killed and only a traffic ticket given in the instance. We don't know what the guy died like a chicken on the road, and that goes on and we are not hearing anything that will make us believe or make us have confidence in that. 1997. What a victory. What came out of that as most prominent was the Bloom Cooper report, Tim. What came out of the 1997 everybody on board red shirt victory? What comes to mind if you have a mind working and you care? What comes to mind, among the first thing that comes to mind, would be the Bloom Cooper inquiry and the questioning of the inquiry involving John Compton, right?
Yes.
And as I recall, they found that the guy was not only not guilty of what was being suggested, but an apology was demanded. Taxpayers' money going on foolish election promises with no foundation. And we may be heading into it already. I hear Montoute, nobody's talking about it. I don't know why. I heard Montoute saying that some officers related to the special prosecutor's office had come to him wanting him to come on board to sign on as a witness to some case. They haven't given details of that, but the rumor mill is all over the place. What would St. Lucian say if shortly before the elections, because we are shortly before the elections, what's his name? Guy Joseph was hauled in for interrogation. Alan Chastney was hauled in, and I'm putting quote unquote for interrogation, for interrogation. 2 or 3 others for interrogation. That in itself is a good platform for any government to be talking about. Especially when you have brought in your own special prosecutor, when you have talked about the crimes that these guys allegedly committed, and you made it part of your campaign even before it was investigated. So can you see the impact if you were to bring in, arrest the names I just mentioned, with no plan of charging them, just to go through the motions of because taking a whole year right up to elections, right up to elections. So you put that out, you've arrested those guys, and people will say what they want. The Facebook would say what it wants. There'll be all kinds of things. The supporters of the party will be brokenhearted naturally because they have been saying, what is the prosecutor doing? And quite likely to go into the holes and say, damn it, they're disappointed with their government and blah. And finally, Jim, my final one to you. I believe issues don't matter at all in this country. Real issues. That whoever can provide most transportation and can get most of their people to the polls, on that basis alone, they win elections. On that basis alone.
All right, Rick, thank you so much. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. The broadcast will continue in just a moment. We have our NewsSpin question of the day as well as the NewsSpin news of the day.
The UWP St. Lucian Diaspora in Toronto invites you to a town hall meeting happening on Friday, November 7th from 6 p.m. The Honorable Alan Chastney invites you to a very important meeting to discuss the UWP's vision and plans for a better St. Lucia. This town hall meeting is taking place at the Grand Ravine Recreation Community Centre, 23 Grand Ravine Drive, North York, Ontario. Join the UWP St. Lucian Diaspora in Toronto for this important town hall meeting this Friday, November 7th from 6 p.m. Let's all come together to right the wrong.
If you're working for a while, come by Cots, I'll make you smile. Cots Black Friday come around. We are the best prices in town. Black Friday starts now at Cots. Yeah, it's back. Cots Black Friday. I tell you, hurry fast. Traffic on the highway. You know we got unbeatable prices. And furniture, electronics, and appliances. Are you coming? Say yeah. Weekly prices.
cut and come down to court. Cuts already load. Cuts already load. Black Friday start. Cuts already load. And go when Black Friday come out.
Lucilec averti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone ça là. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Kouye Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outils ou ka servi pas vini moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
Ho, ho, ho. I had a dream that I, Santa, will be giving away amazing gifts this Christmas at Europa Hardware in Massad Grozile. I saw a Karcher pressure washer, a vacuum cleaner, steel brush cutters, Metabo power tools, even a welding machine, tile cutter, and Leo water pump. Just spend $500 or more between now and December 19, 2025. And your name and number goes into the box to be drawn. Christmas couldn't be better. Only Europa is making things so merry. Ho, ho, ho. It's not a dream, it's a fact. Shop at Europa Hardware. Call us at 452-0763. Europa, we service what we sell.
KFC, yo, we back with the vibe. Strips and dip combo, flavor that rise. Free crispy strips, fries on the side. 16-ounce drink, sauce for the ride. Order for 25, deal so nice. Good and crunchy, can't think twice. Barbecue, honey, mustard ranch if you wish. Dip it, dunk it, finger licking bliss. KFC, Benny flavor, set the mood, strips and dip is back, finger licking good.
I am Ernest Hilaire, Minister for Tourism, Investment, Culture, Creative Industries, and Information. St. Lucia has entered a new chapter, one of record-breaking growth, community empowerment, and sustainable tourism. Just a few years ago, our tourism sector was facing unprecedented challenges, but we saw an opportunity and we took it. Today, we are proud of what we've achieved. We are breaking records. Over 450,000 stay-over arrivals, over 829 cruise passenger arrivals, thousands of hotel rooms being constructed, over 25 community projects launched across St. Lucia. We are making progress. We are transforming the tourism industry. We are putting St. Lucians first. And for us, it is important that our people participate more in the tourism industry. It's important that our people start owning the tourism industry. We are delivering as we promise. From vibrant carnival expressions to authentic community experiences, we are not just growing, we are growing together.
Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE-certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
Are you building, renovating, or just looking to add something to your property?
Then look no further. The Block Factory has all your concrete product needs in stock, from 4-inch to 12-inch concrete blocks to high-quality concrete pavers at an affordable price. Whether your project is big or small, we're ready to serve you. Visit us today on the Cul-de-Sac Bextor Highway, right at the entrance of Ferron, next to the Stone Surgeons. Top quality blocks await you. Call us at 720-6752. The Block Factory, building your future one block at a time.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
The United Workers' Party, St. Lucia Diaspora in New York, invites you to a town hall meeting Saturday, November 8th, 2025 from 6:30 p.m. The Honorable Alan Shastney invites you to an important meeting to discuss the UWP's vision and plans for a stronger, safer, and more prosperous St. Lucia. This Saturday, November 8th, 2025, 6:30 p.m. at 1346 President Street between Kingston and Brooklyn. For more information, check out www.uwpstlucia.com.
1, 2, 3.
Hello, St. Lucia. I am Ezra the Fun Machine, and I'm inviting all proud and patriotic St. Lucians to the St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show happening at the Pavilion on Rodney Bay from the 7th to the 9th of November 2025. Let me tell you, the best and brightest entrepreneurs will showcase their talent and creativity, so you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a vibe. Hey, there'll be a cooking competition, karaoke, and a fashion show by Rafferty. On Friday, November 7th, yours truly, Ezra the Fun Machine, I'll be in the building performing live. And on Saturday and Sunday, entertainment will be provided by the Impulse Band. Come celebrate our brilliant entrepreneurs at the 18th St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show, November 7th to the 9th. Opening time 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily at the Pavilion in Rodney Bay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. Still to come, Amanda will provide us with a final update regarding your comments in the chat rooms, and we'll take at least one final call, and then we'll have the NewsSpin question of the day and the NewsSpin news of the day. Shop directly from the U.S. with Smack Freight International. Vehicles, heavy equipment, tools, parts, building materials, commercial equipment, office equipment, furniture, personal goods, home goods, shoes, clothing, restaurant equipment and supplies, uniforms, and so much more. Smack Freight International also offers a broad selection of top quality products with real-time availability and fast delivery. It's simple. Whatever you buy it for less at Smack Freight. Smack Freight is now serving the Caribbean. WhatsApp them today at 1737-409-4048. 1737 409 4048 or visit the website smackfreight.com. Amanda, what's happening in the chat room? Let's find out from you.
Tim, a few comments from earlier. Someone says, this country is upside down. Philip JPA is not a leader and our country is in trouble. Commentary reads, the captain of the ship can't steer the ship. A NewsSpinner says the saddest thing is that we have too many people focusing on the opposition and not the government, and the government is doing a good job at keeping the people focused on the opposition, and that gives the government an opportunity to do as they please without accountability. Someone says, I take a look at the people from stage at these political meetings. They are the ones who contribute nothing to the country. All they do is handouts. A commentator says, what's the vision plan for 2030 and beyond of the SLP government? Handouts, more handouts, trickery, lies, excuses, tea-boutique projects, leasing the country's prime assets, and still more handouts again. Oh, I forgot, VAT-free holiday. Someone says there we shouldn't accept a hospital with galvanized roofing in this modern time. A NewsSpinner says those NGOs that are keeping quiet concerning the state of our country, it's just sad. Another commentator says it's either VA4 people do not love themselves or really do not understand what is good for them. There is no way I would make the same mistake for over 28 years and sit down after and complain. That's beyond stupidity, that's pure madness. Someone says that we the people should demand that debate. We want to see our leaders side by side explaining policies regarding our future. Commentary reads, caller PJP cannot discuss anything. He can't remember the question asked. That's why he takes control and talks about whatever he feels like. You think it's a debate the man can handle? The man knows his limits very well and will never allow himself to be embarrassed this way. A NewsSpinner says St. Lucians are very unwise and choose to deliberately be ignorant. They are more interested in mapui and petty politics rather than policies. What a people. The future looks very bleak if we do not change our mindsets soon. Another commentary via Facebook, it reads, Tim, do you remember who was the political leader that Sir John Compton debated and who was the moderator of the debate? I wish you had a clip of that debate for us to see the level of professionalism, calmness and respect during the debates. Sir John even said that it was not a debate, it was a discourse. A NewsSpinner says here, you do not want to fathom that. You still haven't seen SLP in a chock-a-block, upside down, back to front government. Someone says, I do not think the Prime Minister will announce the election date on Sunday. A NewsSpinner says via Facebook, the longer they wait, the more they stand to lose. They stand a better chance fooling the people with a building for a hospital, LOL. Commentary reads, precisely all the signs are there that the elections is near. A NewsSpinner says, imagine PJP and friends describing the building they criticized Shasney for as state-of-the-art. Another commentary reads, health insurance should be enough to make St. Lucians vote in drones to vote against the SLP. A NewsSpinner says they enjoying the works of a visionary man, Shasney. Someone says here via Facebook, today seems to be NewsSpin of the year. And a few comments here via YouTube, someone says, the UWP's manifesto is insane, honestly, this is not the way forward. A commentator says, more gimmicks and flashing mirrors from Pierre, the poor people won't be benefiting from that one-day VAT free. Someone says here, I would love a debate between both persons, it's needed. A commentator says, it's all gimmicks, they start projects and leave them incomplete. A NewsSpinner says here via YouTube, we should be happy we will be getting the hospital soon, whether it's before or after the election. Commentator says the Prime Minister will not debate because he will behave like he is on the market steps. A NewsSpinner says via YouTube, it would be unfortunately a missed opportunity for not awarding the public to listen and understand what will be our future without a debate between the various candidates vying for elective office. And a commenter via the YouTube chat room, someone says, I do not know what's going on with the people in VA4 to tolerate Kenny Anthony for so many years and no sustainable development. It's a crying shame. Shasney had big plans for VA4 and yet they voted him out. That's it for me, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. A few of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says, Tim, this one-day VAT exempt is so nonsensical. What about those who will have no money to purchase nothing on that day? If a man/woman buys one small can of milk, how much will this one-day VAT holiday help? Give us a better break, PJP. You and the gang, please give 5 years of a break from the St. Lucia Labour Party. Another WhatsApp message. All of these things, liberating, fooling the people with if they regain power, they will take all of them back. So this is just a decoy. Another WhatsApp message. I'm seriously worried for the young people leaving school. PJP has not created any new jobs in his 5 years. I stand to be corrected. He gives bonuses that civil servants alone enjoy and made caretakers permanent. What new jobs has he created? This could mean our country is in trouble. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, a vehicle with a TX, the number plate TX1412, was stolen at Babano this morning near the owner's home. Please assist by broadcasting. And the contact number is 714-8907. And we don't have sufficient time to show you the photograph of the vehicle, unfortunately. But it carries the number plate TX1412. And the vehicle was stolen at Babano this morning outside the home of the owner. And if you see that vehicle, please call 714-8907. And let's see if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says that, Tim, tell the workers of the public sector do their job. Need to get pay. It's been 2 months now. Question I posed to the leader of the opposition, political leader of the UWP yesterday during an interview on NewsSpin, Mr. Alan Shastney, whether Philip JPA, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, will actually announce the date for the island's next general election on Sunday when the SLP holds a public meeting on the Castries market steps.
Do I believe that they're going to call the election this weekend? He may. That's his privilege to do so. But I have to say to you, if he calls the election this weekend, it's only because he thinks that if he waits any longer, it's only going to get worse. Not because he's going to be calling the elections from a position of strength.
So you heard there Mr. Alan Shastney reacting to my question whether the Prime Minister of St. Lucia will be announcing the date of elections come this Sunday when the SLP meets on the Castries market steps. Somebody says there, good afternoon, Tim. Elections will be on the 1st of December. You can run with that. Got it from a particular individual. Great grounds. That is according to a WhatsApp message. And let's see there. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, none of these politicians have the gonads to agree to a debate. Too much will be exposed, like how useless the special prosecutor is. Waste of taxpayers' money. A person continues, Massey will raise prices by 15% and pretend they removed the VAT and after put it back. That's according to a WhatsApp message. We have no proof that this will be done. And let's see there if we have some more of your messages. Okay, I think that will do it. Somebody says there, it is despicable that the government does not present sound policies here in St. Lucia, but opts to go to the U.S. to campaign under the guise of town hall meetings. Shame on the Prime Minister. The NewsSpin question of the day. It reads, why wouldn't the Prime Minister and Alan Shastney agree to a debate? Why wouldn't the Prime Minister and Alan Shastney agree to debate each other? That's the NewsSpin question of the day. Let's see, we have a WhatsApp message just coming in. The person says the PJP will call the elections when it gives the bonus and the people in their festive mood. Finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, U.S. strikes another alleged drug boat, bringing death toll from campaign in Latin America to 70. U.S. strikes another alleged drug boat, bringing death toll from campaign in Latin America to 70. The NewsSpin news of the day, bringing to a conclusion another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Here's hoping that you'll have yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend, and we'll be back on Monday. Reminding you to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.